Guess we'll just have a start of the meeting. Okay, so good evening to us all once again, and we are all welcome to the SP Abuja section program. And it's a pleasure to have you all join. We are hoping and we believe that you're going to enjoy your time so far listening and learning from the various speakers that will be speaking to us in the course of the event today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome distinguished panelists that are on the call. It gives me also great pleasure to welcome our senior members that are here, and particularly from the leadership of the section. It also gives me great pleasure to welcome our members, the section members, both professional members and that of our student members. We are all welcome once again. In the meantime, I will plead that we just make use of the chat room to just drop our names and maybe our affiliations and where we're joining from, if possible, just to have a heated start for the session. While we are doing that, I would like to make acknowledgements for some of our special guests who are around, and permit me to start to acknowledge our section chair in person of Engineer Victor Anochi, who is currently on the call. We are so much delighted to have your presence with us, Engineer Victor.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very
much.
Welcome,
everyone.
All right. We also have other section officers who are currently on the call, and we are hoping that others too will join in the course of the event. In the meantime, we are also graced and opportune to have our distinguished panelists who are on the call as well with us. Permit me to acknowledge the presence of Engineer Haruna Inwa, who is one of our distinguished panelists. Engineer Haruna Inwa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining. And our second panelist as well is in the person of Engineer, sorry if I don't get that right, but Engineer Imonike, right, George. Engineer George, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Good evening,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Good evening, and you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Also, to moderate the session for the panel session as well, we are graced by the presence of the moderator. The person who will be moderating the panel session in person of Precious Okon. Please, Precious, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Good evening and welcome once again. All right. Thank you. So while we're doing that, I noticed some of us dropped our charts. So, okay, so part of the people we also have, permit me, we are graced by the presence of the Student Affairs Chair for the section, in person of Professor Kafayad. Madam, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. All right.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for joining. All right, so while that was ongoing, in the spirit of the event, okay, so we have some persons drop the chat. We have the Student Affairs Chair as well, Professor Kafayat. She's a Student Affairs Chair, and she's joining us here. We also have one of our panelists, Engineer George, joining us from PH. Oh, that's nice. We also have Ebel Onu from one of our student chapters, Futmina. You're welcome, and thank you all for joining. All right, so in order not to waste any much of our time, we'll just go right ahead to take some of the safety brief that we need to take as engineers, or rather as a professional body that anchors the body of engineers. One thing that is very important to us is our safety. And so while in the course of the session, we'd like to plead that if you're not speaking, do well to please mute your mic so we will have a serene environment and a noise-free environment for the program. And in case you might need to speak, we please indulge that you please just make use of the reactions to raise up your hand, and you'll be granted a chance to speak. And also, if you need to drop any comment or questions, do well to make use of the chat room. You can add something like a prefix of a C for the comments that you want to drop, and you can also use a prefix of an Q for your questions. And for those of us who might be using the headset, do well to ensure that you can still hear the sound of the alarm that is near your environment, just in case of any hazard that might, which we are not praying for. And also do well to stay alert and aware of your environment. Above all, ensure that you stay safe in the course of the program. And if for those of us who might be I believe most of us will be making use of our sitting posture. So do well to ensure that you maintain a good sitting habit as well in the course of the program. Okay, so thank you very much once again. So we'll be going right ahead to take the welcome address, and to take the welcome address is none other but our section chair for the SP Abuja section in person of Engineer Victor Anoche. Please, if you can, with a virtual clap, let's make welcome the section chair as he delivers the welcome address. Engineer Victor, sir, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Moderator Abednego. So I want to welcome everyone to this very important meeting. This is very important because membership is key to the survival of SPE. And as student members, there are a lot of benefits that you will get by renewing your membership and by being active in SPE. And that is why we have selected the best speakers today. These are people that we know personally, and they started like you, and they've actually gained a lot being SPE members. So I want to welcome everyone, and also to thank the student chapter leadership, all the chapter presidents. They've actually done very well for this to happen, and also the student affairs chair and every board member of SPE Abuja session for putting this together. Thank you. And to our speaker, thank you for accepting to speak. And to our moderator, thank you very much for also accepting to serve SPE Abuja session. I know that at the end of today's event, we'll have more reason to renew our membership, especially the recent graduates and our final year students. Thank you very much, and let's have a wonderful session. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Section Chair, for that awesome welcome address. Okay, now, all right. Let me see some virtual clap for our Section Chair. I can see Precious taking the lead on that. Thank you very much. We are so much grateful for your presence, and we look forward as well to having a very, very glaring event and learning from the speakers which has been pulled out to help some of our student members understand the benefits of SPE student to professional conversion. This is a very, very key and very important phase for them to understand, so they won't lose out in so much of the benefits that is out there with SPE. Now, to go on right straight to the session, we'll be going right ahead to the panel session. And to do that, we have a very seasoned personality in person of, she's a petroleum engineer with Safa Crescent. We're going to be taking her bio to have a glimpse of who our moderator for the session is. Then after that, I will invite her to take over the session. All right, so Precious is a remarkable individual who has achieved a great deal in her career so far. She graduated from Nile University of Nigeria with a Bachelor of Engineering in Petroleum and Gas Engineering, achieving a perfect CGPA of 5.0 and graduating as the valedictorian of her class. Precious is a dedicated volunteer and has taken up numerous roles throughout her career. She is an active member of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE, and she has volunteered at different levels from her chapter to the section, nationally and even internationally. She has served as the president of the Nile University chapter for 2 years and successfully led her chapter, or rather her team, to win the Student Chapter Excellence Award. In the course of her tenure as president, Precious grew the chapter by over 60% and increased the membership retention rate by about 40%. She organized several events in collaboration with her team to boost membership and led them to plant over 100 trees to commemorate the Earth Day. Precious is also an Energy for Me ambassador, and she led her team to coordinate 3 Energy for Me events in schools with over 400 attendees. These events were aimed at introducing the younger generation to the energy industry and encouraging them to take on STEM courses through exciting experiments. For her outstanding leadership and community service, Precious was honored with the Girl in STEM Leadership Award. This SPE STEM Leadership Award is one of the benefits that you get in the course of your participation as a student member. And she has done well to transition to a professional member. She is passionate about education and has recently become a Global Youth Ambassador with Their World, an NGO which is aimed at achieving the United Nations SDG 4, which is on quality education, which is to provide inclusive and equitable quality education for all. Precious currently works as a petroleum engineer with Safa Crescent Limited, which is an oil and gas servicing firm aimed at providing digitalization solutions for her clients. Precious is a Christian and actively involved in her local assembly when she is not working. She enjoys listening to music, reading books, hanging out with friends, and many more, many more. Please, with some virtual clap, do well to join me in welcoming our moderator for the panel session, Precious. You can take over the stage, please, if you can hear me.
All right. Thank you so much, Abednego. Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Abuja section, for the privilege to moderate this session. All right. So without further ado, I'll just go on to introduce both of our panelists for today so that we can get into the main reason why we are gathered here. Okay. So Haruna Inua. Haruna is a dynamic and accomplished senior petroleum engineer and technology consultant, SAP, PP, PM, NM within the oil and gas industry. Currently employed at the esteemed Dangote Oil Refinery Company, he plays a pivotal role in project delivery by collaborating with senior SAP consultants, plant operators, and various functional areas. Haruna's educational background is exceptional, with a master's degree in production and industrial engineering with a distinction from Sharda University and a first-class honors degree in petroleum engineering from Ibn-Edion University. Passionate about the transformative power of emerging technologies, Haruna actively engages in research related to the applications in society. His contributions extend beyond his professional endeavors as he serves as an editorial board member of the prestigious SPE The Way Ahead publication. Moreover, Haruna's commitment to mentorship and career guidance led him to establish the Inspire Young People NGO, which mentors over 400 young individuals and has distributed 3,500 free books to primary schools in Kano. Recognized for his outstanding professional achievements, Haruna has been selected as one of the top 1% of young professionals for the SAP Young Professional Program West Africa 2 program. He holds certifications as an SAP application consultant with expertise in SAP business integration with S/4HANA, SAP EAM, and many more. Haruna's excellence has also been acknowledged on a broader scale as he was named the city winner of the Multi-City Africa Challenge 2020 by the United Nations Development Program and the University of New York in collaboration with various African cities. Continuously seeking personal growth and knowledge enhancement, Haruna is currently a data science fellowship at One League, where he is undertaking a MicroMasters degree in statistics and data science from MITx. Please, can we give a round of applause for our panelists, for one of our panelists, Haruna Inura. Let me see your virtual applauses before I go on to introduce our second panelist. You can use the chat, you can use the reactions. All right, thank you. It's so good to have you with us, Haruna. All right, now for our second panelist, we have George Imonike, George Junior Imonike. George Junior holds a Bachelor in Engineering degree in Petroleum Engineering from Afe Babalola University. George Junior has been an SPE member for 9 years and was elected president of SPE Abad Students Chapter in 2015. And together with his outstanding team, they were able to achieve many milestones, especially in community outreach. Currently, he's a field engineer with over 4 years experience in the oil industry at WellTech Oilfield Services, one of the global leading multinational companies in well intervention. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give a resounding applause for our second speaker, our second panelist, Engineer George Imonike. All right. Awesome. It's so good to have you both here. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. So, thank you. So, all right, you could just say hello to everyone, and then we'll just get straight to it.
All right, George, go ahead.
Thank you, Precious. That was great. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here.
Thank you, George. We're glad to have you as well. All right.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I should go.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hello, everyone. I'm Haruna Inua by name. Glad to be here with you guys.
All right, thank you. We're really glad to have you as well. Okay, so let's hit the let's hit the ground running, right? So, I joined SPE in my 100 level. That was 2017, and now I'm in my young professional era. So I want you guys, as a form of introduction, to tell us when you joined SPE and how long you have been a professional member, and yeah. So you distinguish between your student fees and your professional fees. So who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I am George, and I joined SPE in 2014. Then I was in 200 level, and funnily enough, Engineer Victor is the one who introduced me to SPE. At the time, he was a faculty advisor in my university, and yes, it was a very great thing to behold. And yes, even after my university, I continued being an SPE member. And yes, since 2017, when I left the university, I've been an ardent member so far. And yes, I have benefited greatly from SPE, and I couldn't say no to something like this, of course. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So that's about 5 years, going on 6 as a professional member.
Correct.
Nice. How about you, Haruna?
Well, I think for my own journey, it was a quite different one because when I got to 100 level, I was introduced to SPE, but I ran away because I was just thinking that this kind of student organization that would just take my time. So I intentionally ran away from SPE in 100 level and 200 level. And it was towards the ending of 300 level when we were going for petrol quiz that my name was drafted as people that represented my school. And before then, in 200 level, we had some remarkable achievements by our seniors. And to some extent, I found out SP is not really about events, technical events. It's about excellence. So towards the end of 200 level, I joined SP. That was 2015. And in 300 level, I started participating fully in activities within my school and beyond. And I think it has been a quite memorable journey. And I think the best thing that happened to me back then in school was SPE. And even at professional level, I can say that SPE is one body that will always give it all, no matter how busy I am. I always find time to like join SP related activities. Even these events, Engineer Victor just reached out to me and told me that we have a membership development program and I would like to be. I said yes, I will be there. So like SPE to me, it's more than an organization. It's more than a volunteer organization. It's something that builds me professionally and technically.
Wow, I think that's such a lovely testimony about the organization, because I mean, I think at some point everyone most likely had that part where just like, oh, this thing is just going to stress me. But then you then get into it and you begin to, so we're going to unravel this whole getting into it and how it changed your perspective, right? So, I mean, I'll give this back to Haruna since you already started talking in that line. So what did you see ahead, like in SPE and all that, really made you to continue and eventually even carry out that student to professional conversion, right? What was it that you saw ahead as a benefit that just kept you in that line and that made you just continue?
Okay, I think probably because I love going to conferences and best part of SPE is going for STSE or NICE conference, you know. So, and I think the best part for me is networking, especially when it comes to like reaching out to people that you could only see in television or high performing events. But in SPE, you have access to these guys. And once you introduce yourself and say, my name is Haruna Inu, I am from Ibadan University, these people will give you time. Like, no matter how busy they are within the conference, or they will tell you, give me some minutes, I'll get back to you. So that access to these guys is always the thing that I always look forward to when going for a conference. And it's something that always gives me like, this is what lies ahead. And for you to enjoy this relationship with these guys, ask them questions, and even reach out to them when you are in crisis of choice or want to make a career decision or advice. These are the kind of people that you meet, and you can only meet them in these kind of places. Like, so for me, it's all about the networking part of SPE that keeps me going. I don't know if you can hear me. I think it seems like your video is, George, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear Haruna from here.
I hear you all through loud and clear.
Okay.
I think Precious's video is frozen at the moment.
All right. So that's for me, actually, it's the networking part and mentorship that I've enjoyed all over these years. And that what keeps me going. So George, you can take on.
Okay, yeah. Engineer George, if you can hear us, I think we can just move over to you. You can just tell us what has been your drive so far, while we hope that Precious joins. Can you hear me, Engineer George?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so you can just go on while we hope Precious joins. So you can just tell us what has been your drive so far starting as a student member down to your era of being a young professional now? What are some of the things that you see, that you saw then as a student member that made you had to continue with SP even after graduating from school? I think such discussions will kind of put it in the minds of the graduating student members as well, to also put it at the back of their mind that there are so much benefits. So let's just hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, we have Precious back.
All right, my apologies. I'm back.
Okay.
All right, please go on.
Yes, thank you, Haruna, for sharing all those with us. Well, for me, like I mentioned earlier, Engineer Victor Anoche introduced me to SP amongst the, myself and some other classmates at the time. And I was one of those, I would say, that was very fortunate to heed to his advice. And yes, I joined SP. I was in 200 level at the time. I think SP was pretty much new. He was a faculty advisor and he, enlightened us about SP. And I was really interested. I've always been passionate about petroleum engineering. So yes, I felt it was an opportunity to, learn more, in that regard. And I joined, and just 1 year down the line, I emerged as the president of SP. And this was a big shoe to fit in because I was just in 300 level at the time. And of course, I was in the middle ground between younger petroleum engineering students and older ones. And yes, it was a bit difficult, but with his support and the support of many other petroleum engineers, it was really, I would say, easy, to manage. And one key thing that I got to learn from SP as a member and as an executive was the aspect of leadership, which is very, very key. And when you emerge such positions, you just have to lead. You have to learn to lead. You have to learn to listen. You have to, you need to get that drive. And I did get it. And of course, this has greatly supported me in my career so far. So it just gives you that push that you need. And like Haruna well mentioned, being a member of SP is highly, commendable, remarkable, and there are lots of benefits, in my opinion, uncountable. Because compared to what I would say, pay as membership dues, what you get to benefit from SP is way beyond that. And I really, really encourage young professionals. I encourage young graduates to, continue in this, continue to be part of this society because it's very much imperative, and it's something that you can really learn from. I have personal experiences, about SP and how I have benefited from SP. So these are things that you don't just find and come in handy. There are many other societies, other engineering affiliations that cannot offer what SP does offer. And SP, in my opinion, offers a whole lot. And I believe during this session, we would get to, hear from our personal experiences and we'll learn from each other, basically. Thanks.
Thank you very much, George. Speaking of personal experiences, I would really love for you both to go into like a particular thing, a major event that you can point to that that if you weren't a member of SVE, that most likely wouldn't have happened. So any personal experience, especially maybe as it relates to networking or whatever, just a personal experience that you're sure, like you can tell anybody, if it wasn't SP, nothing, there was no way that this would have happened. So any takers?
Yeah. I'm really excited to speak on this because this is something that I, up until tomorrow, tell people about. And I really want people to learn from my experience, and I really want people to maybe latch on to that drive, that personal drive that I did have in SP. So after my undergraduate, by God's grace, I did finish the first class, and I was really keen on, maybe going for a master's degree outside the country, or, just doing something, getting into the industry and stuff like that. I've really been passionate about the oil industry, the energy sector as well. And I didn't want to, how in Nigeria you finish a particular degree and you're probably finding yourself in some other field. I really did not want to be that person. I really wanted to just follow through with what I had studied in school. So when I finished my undergraduate, someone really, really close to me, who was my project supervisor at the time in university, he is currently the SPYP section chair, Engineer Shadrach Ugiriki. He was my project supervisor in university. And after university, during my NYSC, he called me one day and said, George, don't you think we should publish your project? I think it's a great idea if you present it at the forthcoming NIAS conference. And of course, I just finished school. I was a bit lethargic about it, I'm not gonna lie. I really felt like, oh, I'm just done with school. I don't want to begin to, fine-tune a project for presentation. I was really not so forthcoming about that idea. Although he did well to encourage me, he did well to, just push, give me that little push. And of course, I latched onto that push, and eventually we got that paper published and presented at the NIAS conference. And the course of the presentation, it was, in fact, it went beyond how I anticipated, because I was surprised to see how reactions came through regarding, that topic and subject of discussion. There were lots of questions, contributions, inputs, and commendations about the whole presentation, and I was elated, frankly, and Engineer Victor was there as well. It was a great one, and how we have the exhibition sessions in the course of NIAS. So after my presentation, I just went around certain exhibition booths, and that's where I met WellTech, the company I work in currently. And I was there, and frankly, this was sometime in August, right? Because that's when we usually have NIAS, sometime in August. And I was already, close to rounding off my National Youth Service. And so I did well to, engage, speaking with the staff at the time, the WellTech staff that was present. And he was one who was, really interested in dishing out knowledge about the company. And I wasn't there just because I wanted to get maybe a souvenir or something like that. I just wanted to, I had keen interest in what they did offer, based on his presentation. I wasn't there alone. I was there with a couple of other, people who were part of the exhibition. But one thing I believe that stood out for me was the fact that I had a series of questions. I kept asking, probing, just to know, what the company, offered, the kind of solutions and services that it did offer. And he was there answering and really, really happy to answer my questions. And at the end, I told him, okay, this is where I am. This is who I am. This is, the stage of my life I am in right now. And this is what I look forward to. Perhaps would I get an internship, in your company? And he's like, okay, because he's not even a Nigerian. So he was like, okay, he doesn't really manage affairs here in Nigeria, but he can, give me an email of the general manager at the time, and I should just send in my CV and let's see what comes out of it. Yeah, of course I did. I did get the email. I sent out my CV to him, and I actually forgot about it, frankly. And 3 months down the line, I got an email to write an aptitude test for WellTech, and I did write the test, and I was, I passed. and I had more tests. I mean, they just kept coming. At some point, I was like, I mean, it was getting a whole lot. Many tests came up, a couple of interviews as well, both virtual and in person. And by God's grace, were a whole lot that vied for those positions, and just 4 of us were selected. And I emerged as, one of those that were selected, and I began my professional career. And I joined the company just the same month I finished my NYSC. So it was just a very beautiful transition for me. And if I was not part of that 2018 NICE conference, perhaps I would never have, been part of WealthTech today. Never can tell, but that's how the flow is to me at the time. So I got that support, I got that push from an SP member, okay? Engineer Shodak was an SP member for a very long time, and he did push me, as well as Engineer Victor as well. And of course, I hacked into that push, that drive, and I saw, okay, I mean, what am I going to lose? After all, I'm getting a discounted rate, so I should just go ahead. And I did go ahead, and I did get myself a job, basically. That's what happened. Okay, so I really appreciate SP. I can never say my story without talking about SP and what I have benefited from SP, and I'm still benefiting, I would say, from SP. So that's an experience I am really excited to share with everyone on this call, and I believe that the young professionals, the young graduates, and even if we have undergraduates on this call, can learn from my experience and just keep being that good member of SP, and of course, participate actively, and never can tell when opportunity comes by. Thanks.
Thank you very much, George. I mean, that was such an inspiring story, because, I mean, for anyone that maybe has just been given like, oh, okay, they should keep their conferences, hearing something like that, they'll be like, oh, that means there's something to get, right? And also, I hope everyone is taking notes and knowing that there's something to learn. Haruna, please, let's hear from you.
Okay, what was the question? Sorry.
Just like a major experience that, that if it wasn't for SP, you wouldn't have achieved that major accomplishment, essentially. A personal experience.
Okay, I think, unlike George, I did not get my job through SPE, but I've gotten a lot of things. For example, back starting from at school, in 300 level, I was fortunate enough to have been sponsored by Total to attend my first NICE conference. And funny enough, that was the first time somebody delivered a check of 6,000 Naira to me. And I was booked in Vejuros Hotel. Anybody that goes to NICE knows about the hotel. And I was hosting my 2 guys. I was like, I'm a Total sponsor, come and join me. So that great feeling, I was like, it comes a lot with kind of sense of pride and saying that you can only get here through SPE, because academically you could say you can get a result, but what about reward of excellence? And I'm not sure if there is any engineering body or any non-governmental organization that really invests in students like SPE. Imagine sponsoring a conference of, I think then it was 50,000 plus transport, plus having ticket meals and everything, just for you to come and have a taste of like industrial gathering like NICE. It could only be possible through SPE. And I think I drafted my experience. That was my first NICE experience. I drafted it in which was published later in The Way Ahead magazine. Secondly, if not because of SPE, I wouldn't have met some of my top mentors. I think the first time I walked straight to someone was during annual technical symposium back in the first one, premier annual technical symposium back in Benin City. I was part of the volunteers as the SPE president of my student chapter. And there is famous SPE volunteer. Some of you can know the name Engineer Erasmus Inana is my mentor. He's there in PH section. That was the first time I walked up straight to him and I introduced myself and I told him like, I would like you to be my mentor, because I listened to his presentation and I was wowed. So I walked straight to him without any feeling of saying that rejection or anything like that. And I introduced myself. And since then, our journey has been remarkable, especially when I'm about to make any career decision, especially even at like personal life decision. So for me, it's the mentorship part and network part of SPE that always put me through any crisis of choice or any crisis of career transition. And if you look at it, you mentioned some of the organizations like Coren, NSE. I'm not really taking a jab on them, but I'm telling you, students, no, that's the truth. We've been to this organization and we look at their delivery and the top management, how they do their conferences. You look at SPE on the other one, you look at it and say, no, SPE is entirely different. And in SPE, you don't need to like be a top guy, top managerial level, or top guy within the industry before people will look out for you and give you a job to do. Recently, this year around March, I was fortunate to be part of the SPE Women Leadership Lecture Series. And truly, like when I look at the people that I work together with, for my life, if you tell me that these are the kind of people that will be telling me, do this, do that, and I worked together with them in the same team to deliver a project, I'll tell you it's a lie. Look at my age, like as a young professional, I'm just coming up, and these people like just give me that psychological safety, trust of saying that this guy can do this project, let's handle it to him. Yeah. And that kind of trust, like it cannot be gotten anywhere. For me, that's what I'm saying. So if you look at the benefits that you are going to get, if you look at experience in terms of volunteerism, if you look at the people that you meet, if you look at the advice that you'll be getting in SPE, what is money? You spend money on data, you spend no money on phones. You have to be intentional about your career. You have to be intentional about where you are going. You have to be intentional about what is it that you want in life. For George, look at it, everyone was there. He was there asking questions, because he knows what he wants. You understand? And at the end of the day, it's paid, right? So exactly. So if you look at how much this SPE is charging, and this is non-governmental organization, I agree. We are starting as students, and our transition to young professional is a tough one with a lot of where would I be? When will I get job? How will I do this? How will I do that? But if you stay on your own, nobody will reach out to you. You have to show it like, this is what I have, this is what I'm capable of. And you can only do this in SPE related conferences, in events, when you volunteer in your chapter or anywhere. And these are the kind of things that you can even package when you are looking for scholarships or any awards that you want in life. And trust me, I'm currently sitting as an editorial board member in SPE. This is the position that I applied 4 years ago. And when I first published my first NICE conference experience, I look out, I see that they are looking for writers, and personally I can write. But when I apply at that moment, at that time, my experience and profile was not really enough to get me in. But I did not really drop that ambition of becoming editorial board member of SPE the way I had. It was later this year, last year, I attended a SPE Lagos annual technical symposium, and I tried to bring out some points during this, just like this technical event. You try to point out what's being discussed here and try to publish it. I sent it to the way I had to help me publish it. in return, they asked me if I would like to write for them. I said, why
Join the
not?
team.
Exactly. I said, why not? And
That's very
before I know
nice.
it, the editor had reached out to me and we had a call. And that is it. Something that I applied 4 years ago. And if you look at it, had it been I stopped participating, I wouldn't have gotten this particular role that I want. Right?
Exactly.
So as a student, you have a benefit because SP is not charging you as a student. They believe that you are still upcoming, right? But as a young professional, you'll be getting a lot, right? And your transition means a lot to SPE. But these are things that need resources to like thrive on. So you need to give something. Life is give and take. I'm not saying you have money to spend, but there are some chapters like section rather that are paying for the young professionals, but they only pay for people that volunteer for them, right? In Lagos section, yeah, we have some people that were on last year that were on section.
All right, Haruna.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me just round up. So regarding the pay, like unless you volunteer, nobody will pay for you, half or you pay for yourself. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Haruna. I feel like Haruna has pointed out a lot of things and George has said a lot of things. So just to wrap this up, I'll just want to say, because one of the things I see lots of students get discouraged about is the whole payment money. But then I think some people are not aware of the fact that the first year of your membership is free when you're converting from being a student to professional. And the next year it's half the payment, right? SP actually recognizes these things. So don't be so afraid of it. Just convert and reap the benefits. And like Haruna said, it's give and take. And who knows the amazing chat. Just to wrap the session up. Okay. Okay, I see someone wants to connect with the speakers. So if you don't mind, you could probably share your contact information, whichever you're most comfortable with, maybe your LinkedIn or something, with the channel. Okay, I see there's no major question. So I think that brings us to the end of this. So at this point, I'll hand over to
Hello, Precious. Maybe
Yeah.
because some persons might want to maybe unmute to talk. Maybe you can give opportunity to a few persons that may want to, speak without
Okay.
typing. Maybe you can just check that.
All right, true. I think I saw a hand earlier. So if there's anyone that would want to speak instead of typing, you could put up your hand and. Okay, I see a question. You said first year of SPE is free in what sense? Yes, SPE covers for your first year after you convert from student to professional membership as regards your dues. So Haruna, it appears a number of people are interested in the Dangote refinery.
Sorry to say, this is I'm not part of the management. I'm just a worker. So cannot answer any question related to project delivery or anything. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just working there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Bashir, is this a form of you raising your hand? If you would want to speak, you can unmute and go on.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Precious, Haruna, Victor. Good evening, everyone. So I just have one question. Because all that we've been discussing, I could see majorly related to benefits we can get from the conferences and from NAIS in particular, and maybe some of the student or young graduate programs. And I see we are still pushing this towards maybe converting to professional members after your graduate level. But to some extent, I'm aware that so many people are able to participate in most of this program, especially NAIS, like NAIS, other graduate programs, rather section programs, without being a full registered members. So apart from attending these conferences, are there any other serious benefit or precise benefit that comes with only registered members, so that people can be able to take note of that? Because I've seen people, of course, without being registered members of SPE, they go to NAIS, they participate and they network and do all of these things. So are there other benefits, like particularly that you can get from being a member, apart from all of this?
All right, I see Haruna has raised his hand, so I'll just hand over to you to respond.
Yeah, I'll respond to this first. Yes, but I think you have access to, I think recently there is online education by SPE, which is MOOT. And as well, you have a discounted price from JPT, Journal of Petroleum Technology, JPT. And as a young professional, if you don't have any work, you have access to Job Board, which can actually keep you posted with industry-related job adverts, which could only be accessed by the someone that subscribes with membership. And finally, of course, you see people participating in NAIS and other conferences, but if you are registering for NAIS personally, you would see the discounted price for SPE members and non-SPE members, which is another benefit for being a member. And I think that can only be gotten when you renew your membership or when you have an active membership. Yeah, I hope I answer your question. Oh.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ogolo.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Haruna, for the response. I'm the membership chair for SPE Abuja section. I just want to also comment on the question Engineer Bashir asked. I think it's a very relevant question which from conferences, and also there are some messages you receive as an access you have to SPI platform as being a registered member. Then again, you know, in life, there should be progress, right? There should be progress in the sense that aside just participating in these programs, for one to serve as an executive or being a board member of SPE, there's need for one to be registered as a professional member. And some of you may not know it. When I finished my master's, I think within a year, I became a member of, I started coordinating student activities as the assistant student liaison chair. So if I were not a professional member, I wouldn't have had that access. Then 2 years later, I became the student liaison chair. Then thereafter, I became the young professional chair, and now I'm the membership chair for SPE Abuja section. So aside just those conferences, it also gives you an opportunity to serve. And I can tell you that serving in SPE has opened me to lots of opportunities, because I have gained some leadership skills, some management skills, some how to organize programs, because I'm involved in the society. And these are skills you can't get out like that. But because I'm a professional member, these are benefits that I have. And because I'm a board member of SPE Abuja section, it also gives me access to people, to resources, and I'm just there. I would not have had this access or network. I think even being a member of SPE was what even brought me to know someone like Bashir. Right, Bashir?
Oh God, you have to expose me. Yeah, I don't know you.
Okay, sorry, I'm just
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you for that input from you and Haruna. Thank you so much for that input. Personally, why I'm raising this question, sorry, I know the time is running, let me just be fast. Why I'm raising this question is because, as a young graduate, we were once in that position. You finished school, you finished your NYSC. I assure you, paying that registration dues for SPE without any job at hand sometimes is definitely very, very difficult. Even if you have the money with you, you have so many things that you might want to do with that money that can translate into something at hand. I agree, we have journals that come to you, we have job adverts that come to you. I mean, those are those things that you can register in different platforms online and you get the same. And you get the same. And you get, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so all of those things, you can still get the same online on different platforms that you can register into. One key deliverable that Ogene mentioned is becoming maybe a professional, one of the section membership chairs, having to hold positions. But really, as a young graduate, what you're really keen on is how to get something to do, how to get something doing. I would like to use this opportunity to put it out to us. It's all the sections, not only Abuja section, Lagos sections. The system for SPE is really nice. It works better for the people outside the country because they don't have the so-called challenge of unemployment that we currently have in Nigeria. If Nigerian Council will look at this and bring a particular benefit, specific benefit to Nigerian industry as regards to young graduates that will actually curtail that unemployment issue, then I assure you, when you're having 100,000, you can be able to say, okay, I can risk it. Let me just register for SP, even though I don't have a job, because you're going to get something. I don't know what that thing is, but I think definitely is something that we need to look into and bring something that the Nigerian Council would actually approve for sections, depending on what we are putting out there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Bashir. We're basically running out of time, but I'll take George's comments, right? So George, please let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. I know time is fast spent. I didn't quite get his name, but this one of the speakers that spoke not too long ago really made some very important points that I was going to highlight. And just on top of what he said, as a registered SP member, you also have the opportunity of technical papers, having access to technical papers, and that's very much important. I know how much that, supported me when I had to, work on projects and publications. So that's also a very key factor, a key benefit that you can also get from SP, and I would also like to use this opportunity just to put a word of advice to the young graduates in this call. There's something called luck, and there's something called opportunity, and it's very important that we are prepared for opportunity when it surfaces. Being a member of SP is very much commendable, and it gives you that avenue, to meet with key players in the oil and gas sector and even in the academia. But at times, the opportunities that come up, and if you're unprepared for them, then you may not be able to, to attain that position or gain that success. So I just want us to also, bear it in mind that it doesn't come all rosy sometimes. You need to put in the work. You need to make some effort. Okay, and I would like to end with a quote I saw in a book I read recently that said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So that's a very important thing. I also want the young graduates and young professionals to bear in mind. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that comment, George. So I'll just hand over to Abednego to conclude the session.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Precious, for that awesome moderation. And the session was really so much impactful. We learned so much from it, and thanks to our panelists as well for giving us such amount of knowledge that we might need to be hearing once in a while to remind us of these things. Some of the points that they mentioned that I would like to remind us is in the fact of the benefits that has to do with you accessing industry professionals that ordinarily you might just be seeing them in the digital media. They also mentioned on the access you get to have leadership opportunities that will train you, whether at your student chapters, but much more importantly, as you transit to a young professional as well. Other benefits that we hear them mention as well has to do with the career support. You can hear from each of their statements at some points of their career, they enjoyed a lot of support from some senior members of SP. So without you being a member of SP, you might not really get that opportunity. Mentorship also was part of the things they mentioned, industry interactions where you get to interact with company representatives, just as in the case of Engineer George. We also see the aspect of volunteering. So all these and many more lies as benefits for each of us to hatch on and take hold of it, not to allow it slip out of our hands. And as it is for us, I would like to indulge that, please, if you are a graduating student and you're a member and you're a student member, do well to check your membership dashboard to ensure that on your graduation, you make a transition to a young professional. And like it was mentioned on the call, your first year is a free membership for you. It's a free one for you, and your second year, you have a half down payment of it. Do well to latch on that. And I want to also remind us that as SP, one of the things that we hold on to is that it is not just for just a sector of people. It is for industry professionals, regardless of experience or course of study. So even if you are in your various student chapters, do well to bring people that are not even studying majorly petroleum engineering, do well to have them up and bring them to the body. You although engineers are the core of SPA members, but even if you have scientists, you have people that are in managerial positions, you have your lecturers, in case there are some that are not registered, you can also chip up some words to them. We have the professional member benefits and some of the student member benefits, and you, like you have heard, there is a lot packed for you to latch on. Now, to make us also continue in this session, I would like to remind us all to please renew our SPE membership, whether as a student member or a professional member. Most importantly, as a reminder, let's do well for our graduating students to please ensure that you transit and make use of your 1 year free membership. And in case you have any inquiries about how to go about your renewal or any of your membership issues, you can do well to please reach out to the membership chair for SP Abuja section in person of Engineer Ogenerume. His contact is right on your screen. You can just pick the number and reach out to him. As a reminder as well, you can send your payment down to the account information you can see on your screen. And do well to also reach out via the membership chair's number that was previously shared to send a copy of your receipt. And for you to also keep tab with the activities, upcoming programs, and whatever it is that we do at SP Abuja section, you can do well to connect with us either via our Facebook at SP Abuja section 199 or on our LinkedIn and on our Instagram as well. Do well to engage with us, and you can email us on the email information. You can see the email address, you can see right on your screen. Do well to do that. And part of the benefits as well that we have mentioned from Engineer George is the benefit he got through attending NAIS. So right ahead, we have NAIS coming up for this year, and it's going to hold from July 31st to August 2nd. As always, it's going to hold at the Eco Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island of Lagos. Do well if you have the opportunity to register and ensure that you take on the very, very rare opportunity to enjoy from a lot that is going to be beneficial to you. For me, I was so much enjoying the session, so much that has been said from the panelists, but now we have to bring it to a close at the point, but we have to invite our membership chair to give us the closing remark. We'll invite him, and right after that, we'll be taking pictures. So do well to still be on the call as we close. Membership chair, sir, if you can hear me, you can do well to just give us a closing remark. Okay, I'm not sure if it's just me, but your audio seems to be kind of breaking.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. It's clear. It's clear now.
Okay, can you hear me? So, a very good evening once again to everyone section. We want to thank everyone for participating in today's event. Like I was discussing with the section chair, we're just having a chat that programs like this, you never really can tell the worth of it. And it is our joy that people are participating in it, because what we're looking at is how people can benefit a whole lot from SPE, and we'll be able to build the next generation of engineers that would take up, that would take over for the industry. And we want to thank our distinguished speakers today, the first person of Mr. Haruna and Engineer George. Though I've met Engineer George in person, and I hope to meet Mr. Haruna someday. I also thank the moderator for today's session as well too, Mr. Bednigo, for also moderating. Then I also thank Ms. Precious Okon for moderating the panel session as well. So the session is indeed grateful for finding out time, for you guys to find out time to be able to disseminate a whole lots of knowledge to our students. And whenever we make such programs available, it's not just for you to attend, but there are lots of stuff you can gain and get, and this indeed would better your professional experience and indeed straighten your career as time goes on. I believe everyone must have benefited from today's program. So once again, on behalf of the session, we say a big thank you to all that attended. And also, Mr. Bashir, we also thank you for joining the program and sharing from your wealth of experience with the participants. Then the section chair is with us. I don't know if the section chair has any information with the section. We say a big thank you to everyone.
Okay, thank you, Rube. I think hello.
Into this program. Cheers.
Yeah. Section chair, I think you can go on now.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought Rube called me, so okay. Okay, yeah, so just want to thank all the chapters, and quickly, I want to say that some of you may currently not have anything to do with the oil and gas industry, but you'll be surprised that during your NYC, some of you will find yourself, doing some things with some companies. And by then, if you don't renew your membership and you want to continue with your SP membership, it means you have to pay all the dues that you've been owing. That was a challenge I had. After I finished school, I refused to renew my membership. Even then, it was free. So, but because I wanted to continue with my join date, I had to pay for I think 3 years or so. I was active in SP, but I didn't renew my dues and I had to pay. But then dollar was still cheap, like 150 naira to $1. So you can imagine how much that will be now. So I will encourage you, now that it is free, you have the opportunity. And I think there is also a program for those that are not working. If you lost your job or you have challenge with your job, you can also apply for due waiver with SP, which you can enjoy for like a maximum of 2 years. So thank you everyone for joining, and have a good evening. Thank
Okay,
you.
Mr. Chairman, sorry, please, before you end, you mentioned one very important point at the end. So I just want to ask one question on that.
Is that Bashir?
Yeah, this is Bashir.
Sorry, let me even recognize you. That was part of the questions I was supposed to read. Thanks for
No,
joining.
no, thank you.
Okay.
Good to be here. So the 2 years that you mentioned, in case someone loses his job, I think that is also good. I don't know if I need to reach out to you, or maybe is a simple process. Maybe you can explain to some of us here. And then secondly, if it is possible, because I know when we were students, there's a scholarship, Chevron pays for our membership, whether it is possible to actually push for that kind of sponsorship, not full sponsorship, maybe some percentage of the annual registration to be paid by maybe some of these multinationals in Nigeria, because this is a challenge that I have faced when I finished school, and I know most of us have faced this same problem, and some are still facing right now. When you don't have a job as a young graduate, I will repeat, it's very difficult for a particular person to keep up with paying SP. So one is what I mentioned earlier. If we can be able to push to the Nigerian Council something they can see tangible that would make them, if they have 100K, they can sacrifice to still go ahead and register. Or if we can create a kind of a buffer, maybe some percentage of sponsorship, or some kind of the way you say, if you don't have a job, they will give you 2 years. Maybe if you are a young graduate, you don't have a job, if they can give you 1 year or 2 years, something like that, it will really, really be helpful. That's all I'm trying to push out here.
Okay, thank you very much. At session level, we started a program. It was an innovative one where we called it, it's a YP mentorship program, one YP, one mentor. And they'll be doing it for like, I think 3 years now, where we have professional members that adopt a YP and they help to pay dues for those YPs. So we've done that, and I'm sure some of us here have benefited from it. So, and we intend to expand that program so we can capture as many YPs as possible. And also from the session as well, we've also tried to support some YPs by reducing, maybe paying part of their membership due, maybe cover like 50% or so. Why for the one YP, one mentor is 100%. So, but all these are actually subject to availability of funds. So we do that, and the membership chair is also here. So I think the information is very good, and maybe he will take up the information and see how we can improve on supporting our YPs. So for the due waiver is very easy. So I think you should reach out to Akpan or the admin staff or membership chair as well. There is a particular SP international email. So it's just simple. You don't even need to write much. Just tell them that this period of time that you are out of job, or you have some challenge, like those that are doing NYC, you can say you are doing like compulsory service, and you're out of work, that you wish to request for a due waiver. And SP usually reply within 24 hours. So, and they will just reply. They may ask you for, or maybe when you are writing the mail, you can just add your information, and it's just as simple as that. You can get that. So if you wish also, maybe after 1 year, the other year, you can also apply, but you can only get that opportunity twice in your lifetime, or throughout your SP membership. You can get that opportunity up to maximum of 2 years. So you can check for the email online, or you can reach out to our people. So I'm sure they can give you that information. So I'm sure I've been able to answer your question. But if I have not been able to answer it completely, you can still reach out to us after this program. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a good evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Section Chair. Thank you as well, Membership Chair, for all the responses to the questions as well. So quickly, before we end the call, can we please just turn on our videos so we just have a snapshot? Yeah, let's just turn on our videos and we have a snapshot. Okay, I'm still waiting on some of us, if we can. Okay, so I think now we can take, okay, all right. All right, so I'll just put up the count, sorry, permit me. Okay. All right, so immediately I just say SP, we'll just respond with cleaner energy. Is that fine? But with the thumbs up, actually, with the thumbs up. So when I say SP, we respond cleaner energy. Is that fine? Okay, so SP.
Cleaner energy.
Okay, I think maybe we should have our mics on so I could hear the rouse of the cleaner energy, if we can.
You can stop sharing the screen. All right, everyone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Good. Okay, so SP.
Cleaner energy.
Energy.
Okay.